because of the recent economic crisis that has caused an increase in most of the commodities. And this is bringing hardship on people, and the family is not an exception. Our discussion for this edition of Marriage Talk will be based on the topic, how to manage your finances in a marriage in times of crisis. And with me here to do the discussion is our own Mr. Peter Sampson. Mr. Peter Sampson, he's a married man with 3 children. He works with Forbes ET, that's Chartered Accountant and Management Consultant, as a managing partner. His specialty is in the area of accounts, audit, taxation, and finance, for which he has 15 years of experience. He is a chartered accountant and a chartered tax practitioner by profession. He has been a member of this church since 2007, and he's also the circuit auditor for the past 10 years, and he is a leader. Help me welcome Mr. Peter Sampson. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you, madam.
Yes. As we've talked about it, as I mentioned on the topic, how to manage your finance in the marriage. You can see that a lot of things are happening. Commodities are up, and Ghanaians are crying here and there. And the church, we too, it has affected us somehow. And so we want to know that how should we manage our finance?
Okay. Once again, thank you for the honor and the privilege. As you said, we are not in normal times, we are in crisis. And when you are in crisis, things are not the same as they used to be. So what it means that in terms of mindset, in terms of behavior, we have to change. So for us to manage our finances, and when we talk about finance, we are basically talking about our inflow and our outflow. When I say inflow, I'm talking about our revenue, our income, our salary, our allowances, the monies that we get. The same way when we talk about outflow, we are looking at expenditure, the things we spend on. So finance basically means how we manage our inflows and outflow. Now, as you said, we are in crisis. In crisis, what it means that, like what we are experiencing now, prices of almost everything is going up. So what it means is that we need to relook about the way we do our things. And one of the things we can look at is our source of income or our revenue. Most of us may be getting salary at the end of the month, or we sell, we trade, and out of which we get money to spend on. So in times of crisis like this, our revenue more or less is stable, whilst our expenditure is always going up, up, up. So in crisis, we should be looking at other alternative sources of income. What else?
Alternative
sources of income.
Okay.
What it means is that, let's say if you work at a ministry and you think that you can do, or you are very good at maybe doing sobolo or doing something, pastries. I mean, you can do and sell to fetch you extra income. That's one of the ways of increasing your income. That's finding other alternative sources of income. And then when you come to the expenditure, things are going up. So what it means is that we need to be very careful on the things we buy. So we have something we call budgeting. Budget. So budget basically means that first you need to identify what exactly you want to spend, and then how much you look at spending. Okay. So budget is a way of ensuring that you are disciplined. If at the beginning of the month you write what you want to spend on, you assign how much you want to spend on, and then in the course of the month something comes up which is not in your budget, What it means is that you can't spend on that. You can postpone it to the subsequent months. So what it means is that you overcome finchim. Yeah, finchim ni say nya watchro no eno na obedi so. So that you don't go beyond what you haven't planned for. So budgets help us to what we call avoid impulse buying. Impulse buying it is say oh wa bibiaba na se okoto. Now, if you do budget, you avoid what we call impulse buying. Now, in terms of crisis, one way to manage your finance is to continually save. Savings is very good. So, someone will say, but in crisis time, why do I have to save? The crisis will go and then it will come again. But savings is a habit. So whether in crisis, it should be a habit.
Okay.
So whether in bad times or in good times, you need to save. It can be as little as may be. But once it continues, it's good. Because in future, you are going to reap the benefits. So even in times of crisis, in managing our finances, we need to save. So first, I've talked about looking at getting alternative sources of income. The second one is budgeting. The third one is savings. Now, the fourth one is being content with what you have.
Being content with what you have.
Yes. What it means is that most of the time, we'll be comparing what others people have and then what we don't have. Then so, only there's a wakoto mpaboa we and the mesumi nkoto bie and I say mpaboa we na baso nti no mesumi nkoto bie. That's what I mean by content. You may have it. You may have a couple of footwears. Wear what you have so that you are not led into buying things that you may not need.
In fact, Papa, if you say we should be content, you are talking about, let's say we the women,
yes,
when we go to the market.
Very well.
You see, apart from the main things, items that we've written down that you are going to buy.
Okay.
Sometimes you go and then the force people will come. Madam, atade where feel, shoe where feel. But when I say achibako, no they are na deal. And can't the budget and can't the list but now I train their shape. Sometimes too you maybe you've written Milo or something. When you went to the shop, you realize that, hey, this thing you didn't write, this thing you didn't write, but you need them in the house. And you say we shouldn't buy because it's not in the budget. We shouldn't touch.
Yes. You see, proud before going to the market, before we come at what fasika, ebia 200, medicoto ABC. 200 and one hour de koto. Okoy and be before forever. It's not in the plan. You didn't take extra money. Into I don't know wunya sikani bi wunya extra sika fi baby a odabeto se ade no.
So it means he said if you are going to the market and then you budgeted that I'm going to spend 500, when you are going to the market you have to take exactly 500 to the market, not extras.
It can be exactly 500 or just a little in addition. Ebia 500 or the better ebia or the 100 and now the 200 ebia come. And shouldn't be so excessive. Because one plan in the year at the end of the month and they'll see answer because you haven't planned. And in planning or in budgeting, we have what we call contingency. And that's an emergency plan. We be creative or budgeting. Ama bibi ohwa a refim wa na bibiaba. E basa no a obetimi afa saa sika no wo dey resolve saa issue no. Enti no budget no very, in fact companies are saying nyina omo ye budget.
So budget no what goes into it?
Okay, enti ye call budget basically no we be fine first we be throw income we expect. Enti ebia bosomo no ebia nde your November, December my salary send a menya. Ebia 2,000. Na matro me 2,000. Next month, then I metuya. Ebia metuya utility. Utility metuya 200. Nkola school fees, ebia 400. omo feeding fee ubetro TNT ubetro chop money ubetro into ube listening na down ube ye wie no almost oh sika say na aka ana say oh sika impo no enso nyama matwotwo nyina enso me salary no okay saadia and the Hindian metimi ateso nti saadia nyina obeye ansana nti wotumi ye saadia we nyina wi ansana bosom no beba no sika no bae no awa wonim ade a wode beye bibia eni saadi no no onfa nka ho. You don't spend it. If something comes up and it's not part of your budget, you hold on to the next month. You write it down so that in the subsequent month, why is sad, would it be shame? You won't say a habibi. And I say you may be forced to go and borrow money to come and finance that activity. And no way yes, a year edin sunsan so be eba. And they say, "Who budgeted sadian? Emma, who yes stable? Emma, what dream would daho? Because when him say, we sum way, may year 1, 2, 3. Mentimia ya next month, metimia 1, 2, 3. Internal companies are saying now, company bear your budget. Ama wetumie huni obetimia ye, obetimia huni ontuminye. And it's a big discipline. So what to me yes I na. Minim say omo yes I in the eboa omo bebre. Ade ameye into the may recommend you say obia so beye.
Recommend you say obia.
Yes.
Into budget no is it baku for na ye. We are talking about in a family where husband and wife you say into your budget now. Should we do it together or one person should do it and then
as you said, and it's a family no ikunu eyere enemba anasa emba enim. And you know, because it's made up of the husband and the wife, the two have to come together. And you know, ebia obana betimi initiate, bema betimi initiate, say in your budget. And you know, you betro sika. Ebia benyin beka say okay me de bosom so a me de 2000 beba oba no say okay me so me de 2000 beba ana 1005 ene de ebusua bia na ne de entino o me de bebom ekbia then e say ye nkwala school fees utility e betwotwo ni nyina na yaye se omotu ni nyina omotumi ye bomu a entiase eba se ye bibia be ma no ye bibia oba ne nim reason why ye saado no se bibi wo ho na ye ya be ma no nim reason why ye saado no ntino se budget no oba ne be ma omoya entiase ba fie pa na one thing se omoya omotumi ye together eboa ne se be ma betimi a check on oba betimi a check on bema no say wifey saadi ye ka say ye ben this month then him say ya atisika this month say ye be saadi we adenti na yenye ye oh me we few and there make ka ye saado no the same way mpese me ka to so no say even though oba no disika beba bema no so disika beba, there should be a room for both couples to also have their own space or their own money. Into no ebia bema no je 3,000, but I say me de 2,000 beboa ebusua no. Into 1,000 no ono ade behwe ne how far. Ebia bibi o ho a ne nige ho so opese ono ye. Ene na ma ne nige. Ebia ono no me per example ebia ono opie me say me per photography trapa nti bia me per say me say visika to bibi wo photography ho sa me 1,000 no metimi eyibi me dia koto metimi bia ma fix me car nti no in as much as the couples are budgeting together, there should be a space for each couple to develop or to use some funds for his own interests or personal development. And yes, say busuan. Me imagine no, and that's what I do. And you know, and yes, abibia no, usika ni nyina no, what the aba bibi oho a wa opesa wo ye no untumi nye emboa nti no we have a joint agenda. We also have a personal agenda. Joint agenda at the same time, personal agenda. And so we have two agendas within the same system.
So with this, will you advise that the couples should do a joint account or a separate account?
In fact, there is no hard and fast rule when you come to joint or personal. Couples biane the way omote omonyomase. Couples bi it will never work. It will always create problem. Some couples it will work. To me, nia couples no hwe nia ebeboa omo no e na omonye. Me say for instance, I don't believe in joint. Wife ye na dey me so me ye me dey, but yet ye ho ase. We have peace at home. Menye bibi because obi ye na be create problem o fie emboa. If Muhammad say obi oho can say okay, every month obi anfa 1,000 embra, obi anfa 2,000 emboa, na ye joint account e betimi aye na ne aka no obi ade ahwe ne halfa. There is no hard and fast rule when you come to joint account. Okay. Every couple should choose what is good and suitable for them.
What is good and suitable for them. And when we started, we were talking about doing other jobs. Maybe if you know how to sew below or any other, you do it so that you can get extra income to help the family. I also want to ask that. So, like a couple, is it advisable that the two of you keep money aside and then use it for another job, another business? Maybe the family will run another business alongside the main one. Do you advise, and then how should we go about it?
I will advise because for one couple is quite entrepreneur in nature. She always have ideas. Say, "Chale betimi aye bibi." Obonso we hu opportunity bi oha. Oh, we me hu opportunity bi a we me nyeska. Nke me di shemu a nke ye. Kofo bi o mo, it comes naturally. They are talented, always looking out for opportunity. I recommend, say, if you are a couple and there are opportunities and you think you can bring your mind together and bring funds together to venture into that opportunity, I will recommend that. But if there is even no opportunity, and then you can bring funds together, bring money together, and even invest in, let's say, T-bills or fixed deposits or buying shares in companies or even savings is good. Because in as much as you bring them together, it brings cohesion. I would say trust building. It's one of those things that couples it builds their cohesion and their trust among themselves. Internet is good. Say a word for into business. Ni nyina ne say ometi omhoase. A word for bi oho amuntumi nje business together. Enye by force say ya ware nko ade say your business. It's not by force.
But you are doing that to help the family.
Yes, but ebi oho bema bi oho he's very comfortable so no aye na ade. Oba ne bemu a eya wentwi baba. Oba bi oho you're comfortable so no be running a business. Office no running a otumi running ni ye. Ebetimi I say okay bema wo de fasika na mami. Me am running. I'll come and account to you. It's there. It still comes back to the fact that there is no hard and fast rule. Obiane awarne obiane ne die obia ne de we anyom ohu nyoma. If couple A ebetimi aweke ma omo fine. Maybe couple B it may not because bema na pepe say ono anu be running a business but oba no betimi di usika abeshim. Ebia bosomo so a mema obibe kakra oba no so betimi ayesa. It's good idea, but it's up to the couples to decide which of them is best for them.
Yes, when we are talking about the family, see, sometimes we know that things are very difficult nowadays, and all of us are into it. But sometimes the extended families, they come in with their budgets. Maybe your brother, her sister, or aunties or whatever, they come in. So when such things comes in, what do? Because you as a couple, you are hard pressed, sikane bi ni wo ma ye mo budget ma tutu bi bia say I go sumi we ye be ye we said I will see tray ye be ye we ya tro ye bi bia ye wie na efufure fi abonti aba e bia wo say okotu obi school fees e bia wo say opeye bibi say na mo besi be ya e be ma asumdua be fe.
Okay, into no your budget no send na mekae no wo your budget say wo ma wani da ho na wo hwe me amehwe me ho a then I say me spending on into no if wo hwe ho na ho say no ebusuan wo metwe me e bia this month we say me kofi eye wo fie me kwe say me de bibi ko e bia abosoma so say popi ni mommy say me send bibi ma omo nti we nyina say wo to me budget nti no me susu bio say ebia in a particular month one budget for ebia our sister maybe along the line our sister about oh brother me ho akire mi o na say ni say na aba am say oh sir and the siabutre ma me na hwe next month na me ye we so nti no one budget
next month no na so pe no sa month na o say o de me share next month
it's so to me because discipline I been no. Yes, discipline because one budget for. And unless say ubeti me eyiska efi baby ashe baby. But say one budget for nkwa dia. Can I say train? Unless say it's an emergency. It be an emergency be to say be a medical, say be a or hospital and umpo dia e be ubeti me eyi ana say sabose bi kra na ubeti me because a emergency. But say a bibi to say school fees obeti me a train. Ebia sikebia also the rent be obeti me a train dia. Enka media enka meka say yem pushing ko next month budget no. Because budget no is a control measure. It is to discipline yourself. Into no why your budget na bibi pa na wakeye bibi pe wakeye. And then budget no for so bia no so. Into no we need to be disciplined by making sure that we go according to the budget. And in Sana may walk out.
Okay, so we will say that. So in this case, as a man, we know that the man is the head of the family.
Very well.
But some women too, they are good when it comes to management and stuff like that.
Sure.
They can really manage well.
Very well.
So I want to ask, must it always, who should be in control of when it comes to finances? Who should be in control?
This is quite an interesting question in the sense that in our age now, Bema ye juma or jinepe, Oba ye juma or jinepe. Intino, I didn't know Oba no what jinepe no de ma obi say because you are the head, GC Canana or fatu to bibia. I think it's quite interesting and.
The man is the head.
Yes, I understand he's the head, but being a head does not necessarily mean that you have to handle all the finances. It's not the handling of all the finances that makes you a head. We are head and just said, "Sikani ina said bia wona dabi." Sebio obano su to me na dwimu da ho or to me wako school or ye juma. Or to me taking certain decisions in your absence, even though you are the head. And to know when it comes to managing who manages finances in the house, I think it should be both. It should be both the male, both of it should be in control, because obia disika, but to the family, and in as much as Odebano, she also has a say. And yes, Obano was saying to know Burma is no more the head. Burma, you are still the head. Obano, my respect. So the also you know or yamao, you are still the head. Into no bano, let me ask, oh, per se, yes, yeah, beboa, yes, yeah, beboa. Into no, to me, you know, I recommend say both should be in control. But we may have a situation where Beman Kwan or Yejuma, Obano and Yejuma. And I say, Obano Poji pay more than Beamano. And you know, these are all dynamics in marriages. Say, Obani Yejuma San, dear, nature says, Sikani in a Beamano na Odeba. And Tabia Beamano, Nabia, should be in consultation with the woman to decide what to do and not to do. Because women are smart. So
you have to repeat that.
Women are smart and they are good managers. In Canada, but and then they are smart and they are good in managing things.
Thank you.
And you know, even though Beman Puna or Disikaba, Beman need to discuss things with the wife so that there is always peace at home. So there is always peace at home. It's the same way, say, Obanum Pono Jipe Chin Bemanwa. Obano so bu Bemano because say Sena Kano, a Beman no head. But say Intiasia Buffy said, wine I say ye wine I say ye we, wine I say ye we. And Tobano Becca said, oh, may ye we, may ye we, may ye we. Beman Subeka said, okay, may ye we, may ye we. And then Intiasia Abafi. And to know, there are a lot of dynamics when it comes to these things. But what I want to put across is that if the man is the head of the family, it's not being in control of finances that makes you head. Okay. It's your advice, it's the respect that you are giving at home that makes you head. And at times, certain decisions still come back to you. Or Barnabas say, oh, my dream say we dream was saying, oh, yeah. And you know, that makes you ahead. But not you deciding, say, chinchina me year 1, 2, 3, that makes you ahead. So that's what I have to say about that.
And I would say that when we're talking about the budgeting and how we should follow the budget and stuff like that, you can see that nowadays, let's say in a house, you like fufu, and I like pizza. In that order, and the kids also like pizza. And right now that we are in crisis, should we continue with the pizza, or we should change our diet, or what? Because when in terms of fufu and pizza, you can realize that pizza is highly, and then fufu, it's manageable. So what do you say when in terms of talking about this? But it's things that are happening. Because it's really...
Yes, as you said, we are in crisis. And in crisis, we need to change things. We have to change our behavior. So what I have to say is that if it's pizza you like so much, and you always have craving for it, because we are in crisis, you have to reduce the number of pizzas you eat, whether in a month. So maybe if every week you eat pizza once every week, I recommend that it could be twice in a week. Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks you can buy one pizza you share. Or you can even every 3 weeks. Because as I said, it should be within the budget. And because we are in crisis, there are certain things we have to do, there are certain things we don't have to do. So we need to manage all these things very well. But you as a couple, you have to understand that these things, we can't continue doing it. So that's it.
Continue doing it, yes. So if you are now tuning in, I'm here with Mr. Peter Sampson, and he is a chartered accountant, and he's a audit, taxation, and finance he has done this job for over 15 good years. So you know whom we are talking about. He's a professional, accountant, if I should put it that way. I hope you are good.
Yes.
So I will pause.
Okay.
And then ask my audience, because they have a lot of questions.
Okay.
If you have, if you want to ask a question, you are allowed to, ask it. Or if you just join us, we are talking about finance, how to manage your finance in the marriage. So, do you have anything to ask? Okay. So, Mr. Sampson, thank you very much once again. So, I will say that we have said a lot about finance.
Okay.
So what will you tell the younger ones who are now coming, the younger ones who are now coming to marry? The way they do things is different. Maybe when they are preparing to get married, a lot of things they rush into, so they don't know these things that we are talking about. What will you say to them, especially those who are coming out?
Well, young couples who are looking at getting married, this is my advice to you. Marriage is a long way, and the wedding or the traditional marriage is just an event.
Okay. It's just an event.
Event means that after that day, that's all. The marriage is ongoing until death do us part. So you need to be mindful of your spending. Well, in some families, you have support. You have people supporting you, sponsoring you, every activity when it comes to the marriage ceremony. So for those couples, it will be easier for them. But if you are coming from a family where everything boils down to you, you have to do everything, then you need to be mindful. Especially in our current situation, everything is going up. So be modest. That's the underlying principle. Modest means that spend what you can and think beyond the ceremony. Think beyond the ceremony. I've seen recent ceremonies where the couple just did a cocktail just after the ceremony. And the outfit was quite simple. I mean, that is it. You are done. If people go around and be talking, you are married. You understand? And even the number of people you can invite. I mean, you can invite manageable people. I mean, a few people. And then later on, now there is social media. You can just put the pictures there for everybody to see that you are married. The lining principle here to be modest. Such